Welcome to an introduction to basic LAN setup for the Ecessa PowerLink, ShieldLink, ClaraLink, and WANWorks solutions. The purpose of this video is to describe the various LAN configuration options. If you have specific questions about setting up a particular LAN network, I'd encourage you to reach out to our support staff who are always happy to be of service. The first step is to click the Add New LAN button. The three primary requirements for configuring a LAN network are as follows. First, it requires we set an alias. This can be anything you like, but something logical is typically best. For example, guest LAN or simply LAN. Second, an interface IP address and subnet mask is required under LAN IP address. Finally, we need to designate which Ethernet port the LAN is configured on. Beyond those basics, there are a number of additional configuration options as well. For example, if you need to configure the LAN with an 802.1q VLAN ID tag, you can set that value here. Otherwise, you can just leave it blank. The Routed Via selection menu allows you to designate whether the LAN is a private network, for example having public IP addressing on the outside WAN interfaces with a private network on the LAN side, or a routed LAN using one of the configured WANs as a basis for the required routing. That would be utilized if you intend to configure a LAN in our translucent or routed modes, which will be covered in more depth under a separate topic. If you're not sure, leave this as private. Next, we have DHCP as an option. Ecessa appliances can act as a DHCP server for the LAN network if required. It's worth noting that the default LAN configured on the appliance has DHCP enabled in order to facilitate initial connectivity. For configuration purposes, however, that LAN can be edited or removed to suit the requirements of the specific installation. The DHCP options appear when the DHCP checkbox is selected. We can set the starting and ending IP addresses, defining the range of the address pool the Ecessa device would be distributing. The DNS name servers fields would designate the DNS server information the Ecessa device would be handing out. The lease time specifies the length of time in seconds before a leased address would expire. The domain specifies, not surprisingly, the domain for the DHCP server. If recursive resolver is checked, the Ecessa device will itself resolve the DNS requests. The DNS name server addresses given out by DHCP would actually be the LAN address of the PowerLink itself, and the PowerLink would use its own configured name servers, set on the services page, to resolve on behalf of the client. When the recursive resolver checkbox is checked, the DNS responses will be cached. You'll notice there's a link to advanced DHCP options as well. Let's click that and take a look. You may need to activate the LAN before proceeding to the advanced section. The advanced options will let you configure specific DHCP server options based on the DHCP server options RFC 2132. Based on the DHCP option, this would typically be a value, an IP, or a list of addresses. The data field refers to the data that the specific DHCP option can hold. Finally, you have the ability to specify a pairing of a particular MAC address with a particular DHCP address to ensure that devices on the network always receive the same IP address. You can also place a description here for your reference. Once finished entering the configuration data, be sure to hit Activate to commit those changes. As always, when you're finished, be sure to save your configurations under the Get Set Configuration section and replicate to the idle device if one is present under the Hardware Failover Configuration section. There we have it, LAN configuration. For additional information, please don't hesitate to contact our support department, who are always happy to assist.